thank everybody for coming out here this weekend. We always appreciate when we can give you guys such great ball, and appreciate everyone for taking the time to come out tonight, and to the teams for taking the time to be here. When the family comes out, maybe we'll do, when they get out, we'll do a quick moment of silence. I'll say a few words. I won't keep you guys too long. Thank you very much. Any families more than welcome to join us on the field if you wish. Before I say anything, I'd like to just a quick moment of silence in honor of Mark Hill. Thank you. So Mark was a big supporter of our club, big fan of basketball. This was the place where you could find all the families together. So as we got bigger, and everyone has their own things and families, you start to grow, in your own way. And this was the place where we're all able to reconnect as a family. So very special. He's going to be going in the Hall of Fame this year, along with the rest of the family. So we just wanted to honor him, thank the family for coming out. He was very special to us, to the family, and to the sport, and he will never be forgotten. And we want to thank everyone for your support and for just, it's a beautiful game, and it's good people, and I'm just really happy to be part of this community. So thank you, everyone. Thank you to the family. Thank you to the teams. And this one's for you, Uncle Mark. Have a great night.
Welcome back. It is night number 1 of the Chiefs Challenge in 2025. The Hill United Chiefs once again back on the diamond after an impressive 10-0 4-inning victory in their opener that finished up about 50 minutes ago. Joe Todd, and tonight they face the Ohsweken Redmond, put together for this tournament. They are not going to compete this year at the upcoming ISCs in Mankato, but they are represented. And there's the lineup for Jeff Ellsworth, John Stewart, and John Hill that have been put together. It's absolutely the same 1 through 5. Some additions are Kyle Ezekiel and Nick White, and the 21-year-old White from Truro, Nova Scotia, Joe, has had 2 back-to-back excellent weekends. Peter Lubardius, the nicest man in softball, Joe Todd, to bring you this one. And Shane Boland hit it hard. Well played over at third by Ryan Davis.
Good play by Davis. Good clean bounce.
Now, the Redmond were in action as well earlier, and their game lasted 4 innings. Unfortunately, for Ohsweken, they were on the wrong end of a 12-0 count at the hands of the Northeast Drillers, and many expect the Chiefs and the Drillers to potentially collide for the Chiefs Challenge title come Sunday. Brad Ezekiel already with a home run to his credit tonight, continuing his quality beginning to another season. He's 12 for 25 on the year with 2 doubles, 3 home runs, and up to 11 runs batted in. And I say it every weekend, Joe, so I won't stop this weekend. I think this guy's one of the best Canadian hitters to ever come around.
Just pure, perfect hitter. Just the professional style, good follow-through, good step forward, turns his wrists extremely well. If you could ever catch that on a camera, you could send that and sell it.
But before the end of the weekend, and you think about a lot of different things when you're at home during the week, this one will actually remain in fair territory, and Taylor River over to handle it, so a good beginning. And haven't even had a chance to tell you about the pitcher, who's Adam Buckner, who's from Czechia, plays regularly. In fact, he was with the Georgian Bay Giants last year at the ISC World Tournament, last weekend in the red division, not the white division, up in Mitchell. And so he's off to a good start against this Chiefs lineup with back-to-back outs to begin the top of the first. Quentin Bruce, the batter, doubled, cashed in a run against the Batman earlier tonight and had a quality cut right back at the announcer. Literally.
That's not fair.
Well, thank goodness for the screen. Although many would suggest in my case, it could help out if there was no screen. Quentin's now 7 for 22 on the year as he really started to swing it well by the end of last weekend in Mitchell. And I say it a lot. His coming out party, Joe, in the sport in so many ways was the World Cup in 2022 in New Zealand. He went 11 for 20 for Canada in that event. Was exceptional in that silver medal winning performance, and he's back on his way to another World Cup in 2025, and now just a couple of weeks.
Just seems the bigger event, the bigger. Ooh, wow.
He had a big grin for the home plate umpire, and when we get a chance, we'll get you to run through those gentlemen. There's Buckner to his countryman and battery made. A strikeout for Adam Buckner to get Quentin Bruce. And a good start for the Redmond as Buckner sends the Chiefs out defensively after a 1-2-3 top of the first. Here in Simcoe on night number 1 of the Chiefs Challenge.
Welcome to Mont Hill Golf and Country Club. With our beautiful 27-hole golf course open to the public, we work tirelessly to ensure your time with us is second to none. Well, here you'll be able to enjoy an incredible dining experience at our very own Big Pete's Steakhouse. Play some of the best courses in the world with our state-of-the-art golf simulators. Upgrade your gear with the top brands at our pro shop, or host a stunning wedding, event, or conference inside one of our beautiful ballrooms. Learn all this and more at monthill.ca. We can't wait to see you soon.
Hill United Chiefs defensive situation for you now. Bruce Esical, and that should read Nick White. That'd be a heck of a combination, though, Joe, if you combined Alan Pecker and Nick White in right field. What a combo that would be. Shane Boland, Kyle Esical drives in Game 2. Tony Gonzalez moves over from second to first, and Blake Hunter will start. And the pitcher, Martin Gonzalez, and his battery mate from Argentina, they're both from Argentina, is Luciano Biondi. As far as Gonzalez is concerned, you get a look at his numbers. Nice graphics built by Luciano. 1-1 on the year, 9 innings. Given up 10 runs, 14 hits, struck out 12, and walked 3. And he'll face Jordy Gagnon, the center fielder. There was only one hit against Carlos Gonzalez.
Mr. Dockstader.
Joey Dockstader, who we will see in the number 2 spot in the lineup for the Ohsweken Redmond, who went 2-2 at last year's ISC World Tournament in Surrey. Will not be back this year in Mankato. Shortened season, Joe, is really...
Yeah, it's really hurt a couple of teams.
It has indeed. Swing and a miss from Gagnon, who's from Saskatoon.
A lot of conflicts, too, because this Ohsweken Redmond team goes to the Canadian National Indigenous Championships. I think it's right at the same time.
So Martin Gonzalez did not pitch a lot last weekend in Mitchell. 3 innings. Those came in a game versus the Northeast Drillers. And this is his first season with the Chiefs. And like everyone on the Chiefs pitching staff coming out of last weekend, with the exception of Schofield, I thought, outside of a couple of mistakes against the Toronto Batmen in the playoff game, he was great in the game against the Gremlins. Yep. But a quality beginning earlier tonight. Marco Diaz did not give up a hit. Walked 3, struck out 10 in the 10-0 triumph over the Batmen to begin. And Martin Gonzalez goes upstairs to strike out Jordy Gagnon with out number 1. And this one is the rise.
Well, he showed the rise, the drop on the second strike.
Joe, when he's at his best, I find he's moving the ball to all 4 quadrants. Has the ability to locate well as he throws the rise to Joey Dockstader, who is, we just mentioned, had the only hit in their 12-0 setback to the Northeast Drillers earlier tonight. This time the drop misses for Gonzalez, who's 31 years of age. He'll turn 32 on October the 5th. Pitched 5 1/3 at last year's ISC World Tournament with the Northeast Drillers. Went upstairs, and Dockstader fought it off. He's the starting shortstop for Ohsweken in this game. So
the big thing for Gonzalez, watch his pitch sequencing. He'll try and move it around. He'll move it up. He'll move it down. He has all 4 pitches.
Hit hard by Dockstader, who has both hits for the Redmond to begin this Chiefs challenge. And that one, Joe Todd, was with authority.
Yes. Good bat speed there.
That brings catcher Matty Raisavi. He's from Czechia, member of their national men's team. And the Georgian Bay Giants as well. That's his regular club team.
Getting some extra games in.
Hits this on the ground, takes a bite out of Gonzalez. No chance for Hunter, and the Redmond in business. And more importantly, you hope that Gonzalez is okay. That was a hot shot and a base hit, to be sure, off the bat of Raisavi.
Took a bit of a high bounce, too. Kind of surprised him.
And did it catch him up in the jaw by the looks of things? That's what they're looking at.
Yep.
Oh, immediately reach for it. Athletic therapist. Out to deal with Martine in his first year with the Hill United Chiefs. And that's not how he wanted the evening to begin.
No.
For some of us, that's about the worst place you could ever get hit. If you've been a long-time broadcaster. Although for some, maybe the best place for some of us to take it. See if he's going to be able to continue. That we've seen it 2 or 3 times now, and I'm not sure I really need to see it many more. I hope he's all right.
Yeah.
Looks like he's going to be fine. Well, looked a little angry even throwing that first pitch to see if he can continue. And in tournament play, which, you know, the ISC is all about, Joe. That's the way it works and has for a long time. To win tournaments, and obviously the big one being the World Tournament, you need a pitching staff that can contribute.
Oh, you need 3 good workhorses.
You really do. So runners at first and third for the designated player, Mike Root. As Ohsweken looking to score their first run of the evening and take the lead. And Root had a pretty good swing at that pitch.
Mike's got a good bat. He has a lot of power there.
Mike was 2 for 8 at last year's ISC World Tournament with a double and 3 runs batted in. Both his hits and the RBIs came in a win over the Surrey Rebels. He's also a pitcher. He pitched 3 1/3 last year in Surrey, British Columbia. Infield drawn in. High in the air, carrying Quentin Bruce right back to the track, but deep enough to drive in Joey Dockstader with the game's first run. And Root nearly had himself a 3-run home run. And there are 2 away, as Bruce made it look pretty routine, but it certainly was anything but.
Yeah, that ball carried.
Here's Ryan Davis, the third baseman. He's from Ohsweken. 2 for 10 in last year's ISC World Tournament. He homered in a game against the Steveston Canadians. So this is a mix of last year's ISC team and then others brought in. Blake Hunter diving, knocked it down, and made a fine play to end the inning. But Ohsweken draws the game's first run and lead the Hill United Chiefs by a count of 1-0.
inch by inch, we'll fight to make the lives of First Nations people in this community, this province, and on this continent better. I know we have a long way.
Toronto Batman with 10 runs in 4 innings. One of the gentlemen very responsible. He had a couple of doubles and 2 runs batted in the game is the designated player, Bruno Matroni. And a quality cut at that rise ball from Adam Buckner, who put up a 1-2-3 top of the first.
Buckner started off with a changeup, came back with a rise ball. Good sweep and curve there.
Just missed to Matroni, up to 10 for 21 on the season. 2 doubles, a triple, a home run, and 9 runs batted in. And Buckner went right down the same lane with the same result.
Trying to work that outside corner of the plate. Doesn't want to give Bruno too much.
Ooh, and that just missed, plunking Bruno Matroni. Joe and I are close enough, as you can probably see. Joe's the good-looking one with the hat. We can almost touch the game, and Matroni with a good eye to take for ball 4. So he's on base again. And Tony Gonzalez is the batter.
Umpires for tonight's game behind the plate, Dave Jackson. First base, Darryl Helmer. And at third base, Mike Morrissey.
Tony, the 35-year-old from Tijuana in Mexico, member of their national men's team. 1 for 3 with a run batted in against the Toronto Batmen. In tonight's opener, he's 4 for 23 on the year. And there's the sweeping curve again. Missing outside from Adam Buckner, who was not a member of the Czechian national team at last year's World Cup qualifier in Mexico. He did participate at the U23 World Cup in Argentina in the year 2023.
That's a lot of 23s.
There's a lot of 23s. Good work by Rasavi to catch the drop that missed down, but a little struggle finding the strike zone for Buckner after a good beginning to the game.
You just can't give free passes to a good hitting team like this.
Usually comes back to bite you, no question about that. And here's Blake Hunter, who was 1 for 2 against the Batmen earlier. 5 for 13 on the year is Blake. And this time, Buckner finds the outside corner. Blake has doubled this season and driven in 3 runs.
Good pull hitter here, Blake Hunter.
When he gets on a roll, he can be very streaky in the hottest of ways. No better example for me, Joe, of that than the beginning of the World Cup qualifier last summer in PA when he rolled off 6 for his first 7 and will represent the country at the upcoming World Cup. What an 8-team tournament that's going to be.
Yes, looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'd be looking a lot more forward to it if I was going to be in
me
attendance,
too.
But I will not.
Me too.
Which is okay. Hunter, high in the air, and it gets away from Zach Green. And the Chiefs, who gave up a go-ahead run in the bottom of the first, have loaded the bases to begin the top of the second.
Just out of the Grappa Green.
I think you probably have to score that at a hit, don't you, Joe?
Yes, I have.
Well, I'm going with your scorecard. And that's how mine would be marked. So the bases are loaded for Kyle Ezekiel, who's playing at second in this game. Did not participate in the first game against the Batmen. And some groans. Kyle is 2 for 9 on the season with a double and 2 runs batted in. Was 0 for 2 last weekend in Mitchell. Both his at-bats officially came against the Bear Creek Gremlins, which apparently, if you avoid New York, you could be on the right side of a drinking game. I thought last weekend, for the most part, I stayed away from it pretty well.
Yeah.
The easy way to do it is to always kind of mention both.
Yeah. I think Blair got caught a couple of times.
Kyle Ezekiel passed a diving green. That's going to score a couple. Kyle Ezekiel has a 2-run single, and the Chiefs have taken their first lead of this one.
Those 2 free passes coming back to haunt the Ohsweken Redmond.
So back-to-back base hits, and Ezekiel has his 3rd and 4th runs batted in of the season. And now Nick White, the 21-year-old from Truro, Nova Scotia, is off to some beginning in 2025. He's 10 for 16 with a home run and 7 runs batted in.
Well, if the ball bounces twice in the infield, he's going to be at first base.
If Ryan Davis had been playing back literally another 1.5 feet, that ball was going to spin back in to fair play.
Yeah.
But you're right on the Nick White front. He's as fast as anyone, I would suggest, playing the sport at this level. He puts it in play, he has a chance. Unless it's in play there, they'll come home, and White will drive in a run as heads-up base running by Blake Hunter to engineer his way to home plate. And White with an RBI ground out to make the first out of the inning. Nice try by River Taylor to come home, but really had very little chance to get Blake Hunter. And now the young Argentine, Luciano Biondi. I just like saying Luciano because of Luciano Lafrano.
Yes. It's a great name.
The star of Softball Premier TV, although his wife really in some ways. Carl in her own way is the star. Is Biondi, who a lot like White can flat out fly, misses on a bunt attempt with 3 in and a runner in scoring position here in the top of the second. Biondi keeps the hands back on a high change from Buckner, but fouled it back. Biondi, just 22 years of age, 4 for 13 on the season with a double, a home run, and a run batted in. And Buckner finds every centimeter of that outside corner.
He was looking at him and really picking the corners.
His second strikeout of the evening, and there are 2 down. And back to home plate comes Shane Bolin. He grounded out to short. His first time up tonight. He had a wonderful start to the tournament, a couple of doubles in the opening 10-0 triumph over the Toronto Batmen. High chopper.
Good play.
Dockstader with a wonderful play to get Boland. Excellent defense by Joey Dockstader. Deep in the hole and made a great throw to get Boland at first. The Chiefs cross home plate 3 times and lead it 3-1 here in Simcoe. Three Hill United Chief runs to begin the second inning, and now Travis Nevin to lead things off, the left fielder. He's also a pitcher. Martin Gonzalez, good to see after taking that bouncer right off his jaw, was able to stay in the game and end the bottom of the first. Did give up a couple of hits and a run. And you know he'd love to get in a groove. He has yet to do that early in 2025. And Joe, the other part of it is it's not always easy when you don't get a lot of work sometimes either, especially when you're early in a year and trying to find your way and you're with a new team. And
yeah, you can do all the pitching you want on the sidelines with your catcher and your friend, but it's still not the same.
No, it is
You need
not.
game action.
You absolutely do. And if the Chiefs are to win a 7th ISC World title, they'll need Martin Gonzalez to be in top form. Martin probably disappointed to be left off the Argentina national team.
I'm sure he's trying to prove them wrong.
Yes, indeed. Well, that'll help. That's a quality rise ball. His second strikeout to get Travis Nevin as that pitch climbed the ladder. First baseman River Taylor is the batter. He was 0 for 6 at last year's ISC World Tournament. And another rise ball, but this one out of the zone.
Do have a bit of a score update from Diamond 1 or Diamond 2, whatever we want to call it. Taylor Migliavaca, the first pitch of the game, leadoff home run. So the Northeast Drillers over the Townsend Tide.
That's Migliavaca's second home run of the evening. He had one earlier tonight against Ohsweken. Joe, Migliavaca for me is one of the true 5-tool players in the game. There is not anything that the Northeast Driller center fielder can't do.
He's a great leadoff batter, too. Just great eye at the plate, good upper body strength, can punch the ball out of the ballpark or hit a single if you need it.
And he can flat out run and defend and throw people out, too. He is a 5-tool player. And the tool box sharpening for Martin Gonzalez, who has back-to-back strikeouts to begin the bottom of the second as he gets River Taylor. And looks like he's feeling pretty good tonight about the rise ball as he deals with second baseman Zach Green. Zach was 1 for 8 at the ISC World Tournament in Surrey, British Columbia. That was a pretty nice facility, didn't you think, Joe?
Yes.
I'll be out there again in a couple of weeks.
June the 5th or July 5th for you.
Yeah, I'll be out there July 7th, the start of the Canada Cup Women's International Tournament that I've been lucky enough to call for the last number of years.
Say hello to Mr. Tim for me.
I sure will. I'm a big fan. He keeps bringing me back, so why wouldn't I be a big fan?
He must be doing something right.
Well, I'm trying. I'm giving it my best shot. So is Zach Green. Drop ball in a good spot from Gonzalez. Martine would love a 1-2-3 bottom of the second, and nothing better for a group than when you put up a run or two, or in the case of the Chiefs, 3, to put up a 0 right after. However, Zach Green has other ideas. He pulls it through the hole for a base hit. Up just a little more, I would think, than Gonzalez would have wanted, and not as inside as he would have liked either, as he faces Zach DeMille, the right fielder. He was 1 for 8. He's from nearby Hagersville, which I drove through today for my first time ever. In my preparation over the last number of years, a lot of Ontario towns that play the game well with lots of good athletes. Hagersville, one of them, and made my way on my trip today through Hagersville for the first time. And a few other towns, I'm still not sure of exactly where I was today, but it's good. I like learning.
Yeah.
And DeMille with a swing and a miss on the offering by Gonzalez. Thank you to all our great sponsors this weekend, including Salverta Enterprises and their Tim Hortons in, guess where? Hagersville. Well, the hitter from Hagersville went down swinging on a rise ball. 1 hit, 1 left, no runs. It remains 3-1 for the Hill United Chiefs on night number 1 of the Chiefs Challenge. I like this sport a lot.
A dream catcher, inch by inch, we'll fight to make the lives of First Nations people in this community, this province, and on this continent better. No, we have a long way to go.
Brad Ezekiel leads things off for Hill United, the longtime member of this team, and a big reason that they've had the success and winners of 6 ISC World Tournaments, hoping to repeat this year in Mankato, Minnesota. Have you been to that ballpark?
No, I have not. My first time.
It will be mine as well. Looking forward to that. Because of the different schedule and the World Games, World Cup, especially the World Games, the ISC World Tournament moved up a couple of weeks. Ezekiel did not go around. He popped up to first baseman River Taylor in foul territory back in the first.
Brad with that Big bat wiggle over his head. The trademark of Brad Ezekiel.
I am asking him before this weekend is over. I've wanted to do it for years. I keep saying I'm going to, and I'm going to.
Yeah.
Where did it come from?
Yeah. Well, imagine it's just a timing issue now.
But Joe, in some ways, as he walks to start the top of the third, you would never teach that.
No, by no means.
Like, as you look at that waggle, but you're right, it's all part of the timing mechanism. But in a lot of cases, you know, when you think about how quickly the ball gets to home plate as Alan Pecker comes in to run for Brad Ezekiel over at first.
That's a good trade-off.
Most of the time, you don't have the opportunity to move your hands down and then set and then get your hands through the zone.
But he seems to do it and find, especially in clutch situations.
Well, you know, when you're headed straight to the Softball Hall of Fame,
yeah.
Your career is about 1 minute over. Alan Pecker on the move. That's a great throw.
Crab just dropped it.
Matty Rasavi threw a rope. In fact, you couldn't really walk it there and hand it to Doc Stater much better than this.
Great arm.
Terrific throw. But Pecker in safely with a stolen base. Quentin Bruce takes a changeup on the outer half for a strike. 3-1 Hill United leading, trying to go 2-0 in the Chiefs Challenge here at Lions Park. Great facility in Simcoe. On a nice night.
Yes, not bad. A little breeze. But
as I say that, yes, the scorebook starts to float away. Bruce goes the other way with it and fouls it down the left field side. Quentin moved up into the 3-hole tonight. Some changes in the lineup. No Nick Shales for game 2. But it says a lot about how Bruce is starting to swing the bat. Came inside, and it carries, and it's going to go.
Wow.
A home run for Quentin Bruce. His first of 2025 is a 2-run shot, and the Chiefs expand their lead to 5-1.
That ball got up in the jet stream. It just kept carrying and carrying. Good upper body strike there by Quentin Bruce, driving that ball.
So his hot bat continues to result in good quality at-bats. And I wasn't sure it would have quite enough, but you're right. The wind is blowing out. Got it up in the air, and it carried out of here. It is no 270 to anywhere like it was last weekend in Mitchell. That's, for me, one of the deepest home run fences to center at a softball diamond I've seen in quite some time.
You hit a home run in Mitchell on that A diamond. You're well deserved.
Certainly to center. Here it's more customary. The standard is generally 250 around the horn, and that's what that temporary fence is at all the way around as Bruno Matroni took a look back. Quentin Bruce, a 2-run homer, his first of the year, has turned 3-1 into 5-1. Haven't looked at the velocity. That one, I think, registered in the 74 or 75 mile an hour category from Buckner. Had a strong first. Been a little tougher, and he left that one up. And Matroni gobbled it up very quickly.
Just got too much of the plate.
And Bruno continues to swing it very well as he has walked and scored, and now singled in this game. Tony Gonzalez has walked and scored. One of the 3 second-inning runs for the Chiefs, and they've added 2 more here in the third.
Tony Gonzalez is just a great utility player. Like, they pretty well stranded him at first base this year, but a couple years ago he was a mainstay second baseman. Started off with Hill United in the outfield.
That one tracked down in center by Jordy Gagnon. And there is 1 out in the inning as Gonzalez pops up. And a really good hitter, too,
yeah.
Joe. Talking about Gonzalez, who was a first-team All-World selection at last year's ISE. He hit .455 during that tournament.
Great fast pitch IQ.
Another changeup that Blake Hunter stayed back on, and he hit it out of here. Blake Hunter with a 2-run home run, and it's 7-1. His first home run of 2025 for the 38-year-old Blake Hunter.
Good punch there by Hunter.
And just enough. And then, no thanks if you're Jordy Gagnon.
Did the little nosedive over.
That one could make a blooper reel or two. Kyle Ezekiel started the Hill United party in the game against the Redmond tonight with a 2-run scoring single, his first time to home plate. As Buckner delivers on the outside portion for a strike. So Hunter and Bruce with 2-run homers here in the third. And the Chiefs, who heavy favorites in this game, after giving up the game's first run, have responded with 7. No easy outs, Joe, in this lineup.
Not at all.
It's one of their trademarks is the sweeping curve. Misses from Adam Buckner, who has started and so far pitched to every Chiefs batter.
Really working that outside corner of the plate. Yes, he's down 7-0, but he's still working hard to try and hit his targets.
And Kyle Ezekiel is on base again, this time on the walk. Nick White has driven in a run tonight with a ground out to first. His first at-bat of the 2025 Chiefs Challenge. As Buckner works to the other side of the plate against the left-handed hitting Nick White.
76 on the radar gun there.
And Nick has earned his way onto Canada's big team. In the air in foul territory and out of play. And he will be a great utility piece to have in Prince Albert.
Yes, he can be used in many facets of the game.
And playing a lot more than he did in year one to start 2025 with the Chiefs.
Boy, probably it's been my third year seeing Nick White, and just to see the progression of where he was 2 years ago or 3 years ago to where he is now, some major steps there.
And he's only 21, Joe.
Yeah.
We're going to be watching this guy at a high level for the next 15 years.
Which is good for our program.
Indeed. Absolutely. Now, Blair and I in particular talked about that last weekend about, you know, there's a lot of, in that 36 to 40-year-old category, guys who have been great players, and they're still really good players, getting closer to the end. And then we've got, in this game, Biondi and White. One guy's 22, the other's 21, and a number of others on some of these high-end rosters. And there's a base hit for Nick White. No hesitation from Ezekiel to go first to third. And Nick White has his 11th hit in 18 official at-bats to begin this season.
Good bat follow-through by Nick White.
Indeed. And it won't take him very long to probably be on his way. By my count, he has 8 stolen bases already this season. See you, Nick. No, he'll hold.
I imagine they're probably looking at the scoreboard right now, too.
It's true. Now I have one out. Am I missing an out here?
One out. I
Just
have
the one out.
Tony Gonzalez.
This is drilled by Luciano Biondi, and it's going to score a couple. Look at Biondi fly around. A 2-run triple for number 34. And it is 9-1. So the two youngsters, White and Biondi, deliver hits. And looks like the 40-year-olds, after talking about all these young guys, Nick Shales is going to bat. And he's really struggled this season, Joe.
Yeah.
Just, 14 for 26, 2 doubles, 5 home runs, and 13 runs batted in. He was 2 for 3 in the previous game against the Toronto Batmen in a 10-0 triumph with a double. Well, the weekend at the Jack Grafmeyers, that's silly string stuff.
Yeah.
11 for 13 that weekend, much more difficult, and the competition, was elite.
Yeah.
To take nothing away from the opponents in Kimberley, but no comparison whatsoever to what occurred in Mitchell last weekend. Nick did homer. He had a couple of hits last weekend. As Buckner likes to work both sides. The changeup in this inning has hurt him. He's left it up.
Yeah. Just getting way too much of the plate. When you make a mistake against a team like this, it comes back to haunt you big time.
Quickly. So the Chiefs, as you mentioned earlier, they brought their hitting shoes here tonight. Night 1 of the Chiefs Challenge. As we pay tribute to all the great sponsors, including Spot on 54, based on here at the Six Nations of the Grand River Territory. Indigenous owned and operated, located at 865 Brant County Highway 54. Nick Shales, originally from Lismore in New South Wales, Australia, and Nick's back on base again.
Nick's Waterford, Ontario, his hometown now.
Yes. I think I might have gone near there today for the first time, too.
It's only probably 10 miles down the road.
No, it's not far. Part of the Peter Loubardius Learning Ontario Tour. Not a lot of junior hockey teams out here, Joe, so
no.
I get to a lot of places during the hockey season and my other job, including your beloved London Knights, Memorial Cup champions again.
Yes, they had a great season.
Yeah, that would be one word for it, yes. Pretty good. Those Hunters do an okay job if you like that sort of thing. Ridiculous.
Well, he's groomed that team for the last 3 years. He really has, the way those players have moved.
Well, you're going to see a lot of them in the NHL in
Yes.
years to come. Only 14 drafted players on the team, Joe. the Quebec Maritime Junior Hockey League had 26 drafted players in the league, Joe. They had 14 on one team. Just to put it in some perspective.
Yeah. It grabs it right there.
Yes. Back to softball.
Yes.
Where the Chiefs have batted around again in the third. And Alan Pecker
stayed in the game
to bat and went down swinging. So Shales walked. It's hard to score when you get on this hockey topic. And it's 8-1. And this is hit well. Quentin Bruce, has he done it again? The answer is yes. And that one, an absolute no-doubter. Quentin Bruce. Back-to-back homers. This one cleared the bags. Give that man the homer hat. See you later. That's what they like to call in the sport a grand slam. And it was gonzo the minute it left. It almost cleared fence 2. Forget about fence 1. So a grand slam homer for Bruce, who's having a quality night and day overall. That's 2 home runs.
I think he was mad because he struck out the first time.
Well, it's working, Joe. That's 2 home runs and 6 runs batted in the game. 7 runs batted in on the night. He had a double and an RBI in the win against the Batmen. He didn't have an RBI coming into the evening. He's got 7 now.
Michael Root now pitching for Ohsweken Redmond.
Yes, Adam Buckner's night is over after the Quentin Bruce no doubt grand slam. Quentin Bruce is just one of the nicest people you'll chat with. Really spent some quality time with him over the last couple weeks. And
I heard a rumor he's missing tomorrow.
Because of?
The Grand Valley has a brand new ballpark, and he has been asked to be there for the opening of the Grand Valley ballparks, since that's where he hails from.
He does hail from Grand Valley, indeed.
They have 2 new diamond facility.
I think his parents were in attendance last weekend in Mitchell. Dairy farmers. Which means you're working 366 days out of 365.
Yeah. You can't call in sick.
No, there's not a lot of days off. Matroni, ouch. That takes a bite out of Joey Dockstader, who made a great defensive play earlier in the game. And I'm scoring that a hit.
Yes.
Takes a high hop. Pipolo Lopez is going to come in to bat for Tony Gonzalez. As my scorebook looks like, yeah, I could use some help, Joe. Got a lot on it, and as you mentioned, my writing is not as legible as you would like.
I'm working with you.
Lopez down the line and into a spot where Zach DeMille could not get to it. So Root is the new pitcher, taking over from Adam Buckner, and it began well for Buckner. It didn't end that way.
No. Michael Root also playing up in the Blue Water League. I believe he's playing for either Port Elgin or Saugeen.
Well, the Chiefs with 9 hits. They have 9 runs here in inning number 3, including 3 home runs. But the inning will come to an end as Pipolo Lopez goes down looking. 9 runs, 3 home runs, including Quentin Bruce's grand slam. And it's 12-1 for the Chiefs heading to the bottom of the third. That looks like a shot from the drone. I haven't seen the drone this year, but I know Luciano's got it. Over the last couple of years, though, I've seen his friend the drones, plural, make their way to some very interesting locations at ballparks in North America. As Martin Gonzalez, great shot, though, of Lions Park.
We have had a couple of fatalities.
Yes, those aren't cheap fatals either. 12-1 after the Hill United Chiefs scored 9 in the top of the third, and Martin Gonzalez, who's had to wait a while as a result. He has given up a run, 3 hits in the game, and by my count, has 4 strikeouts. Top of the order. And Jordy Gagnon, the center fielder, leading things off in the bottom of inning number 3. Jordy hails from Saskatoon. As Gonzalez comes in and the swing and the miss. Ball and 2 strikes. I must say, Joe, it's quite nice, even though we have a scoreboard on our screen that's always available. It's also nice to have one in the park to take a peek at. As Gonzalez, a good start. Drop ball, swung on and missed. And he has his first out of the third and his 5th strikeout of the evening. In their first 2 games of this tournament for the Ohsweken Redmond, they have 4 hits. Joey Dockstader has 2 of them. He had the only hit in their 12-1 or 12-0 setback at the hands of the Northeast Drillers in their first game tonight.
Played well defensively, too.
Yes. And he's old school. No batting gloves. No arm guards. Straight old school for Dockstader, who singled and scored the game's first run. Tried to lay down a bunt. Almost self-defense where he bunted that ball from. Ohsweken scored the game's first run in the bottom half of the first, but the Chiefs said, we're going to respond.
Yeah, and they have.
Yeah, with 12. And they've played long ball on a number of occasions. Quentin Bruce has 2 of them, including a grand slam. And somewhat failed to mention that he hit both of those home runs in the same inning.
Yes.
That doesn't happen every day either. Change up from Gonzalez. Bounced it to Biondi.
Gonzalez, you can pick that up or not, but Gonzalez puts a lot of rotational spin on that ball.
The spin rate.
So crucial because that ball gets spinning, the ball is probably going to bounce or be a pop-up in most cases. if the ball is hit above the letters.
So here's the payoff pitch. And Dockstader had a good whack at it. I feel good that I did not react, but the people behind us most certainly did, and I get why. Good pitch on the inner part.
Good inning of work here by Gonzalez.
The location on that pitch really tied up Dockstader. Had a good at-bat. So back-to-back strikeouts here in the third. And now it's Matty Raisavi. He has singled in the game. 1 for 1. 1 for 4 tonight overall. And had a pretty good cut at that pitch. Did the Czechia national team member. They will not participate in the upcoming World Cup. They failed to qualify, but Joe, maybe one of the fastest rising nations in the sport.
They have invested a lot in their programs.
They have. Both on the men's and women's side of the ledger. Did you go to Prague?
Yes, I did.
I thought you were part of that group in 2019. Won by Argentina. Off the glove of Blake Hunter. And a second straight hit for Isavi. And I don't know if rain is in the forecast before the evening is over. And I'm not talking, I think we're going to be fine to get through the ball game. But
might get a little damp around midnight.
Ladies and gentlemen, meteorologist Joe Todd.
Yes.
Just another one of his fine attributes, along with rating your writing.
So, if you're on the ground crew, let's get here at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Yes, you've seen a lot of that in your time, too. As the now pitcher, Mike Root, who started the game, as the designated player with a healthy hack and a miss. Gonzalez just trying to end the inning.
Good pitch location there.
Oh, sorry, folks. Don't have a time to take a survey now. Calling a ball game. Call me later. Good location on that topic. Courtesy of Gonzalez on that pitch to Root. Everybody's phone's ringing. If it's a survey, Joe, don't take it.
Don't take it.
Don't take it.
But I might win a prize.
Joe, don't take it.
Okay.
On the ground, handled by Shields. Can still pick it, too. Good play by Nick Shields to end the third. It's 12-1 Chiefs on night number 1 of the Chiefs Challenge in lovely Simcoe, Ontario.
Let's talk about a local one-stop shop. Live Well for Life is just that, a fitness, nutrition, and therapy facility all under one roof. Located at 3878 Wellington Street in Mitchell, Ontario, you can get so much done in just one visit. A full complement of staff on hand include chiropractic, massage, and personal training to get you back to your healthy self. Find them on the web at livewellforlifeinc.com or give
Live Well for Life, a proud sponsor of the broadcast program.
The Hill United Chiefs in front of the Ohsweken Redmond by a count of 12-1. They blew the doors wide open with a 9-run third inning. There's Blake Hunter set to bat. And he has had a big night. Blake's 2 for 2. He's driven in a couple runs, and he is homered in the game. Quentin Bruce had 2 in the same inning, including a grand slam.
6 RBIs in 1 inning.
Not a daily occurrence, even when you're as good a hitter as Quentin Bruce. This guy's at home plate's been a good hitter for a long time in the game. Doc Stater climbed the ladder in the dirt, and an equally good effort over at first to scoop that out of the dirt.
Good lateral jump there by Doc Stater, too.
Excellent defense.
Yeah.
And that's a new first baseman over.
That's Jared Garlow over at first base. He replaced River Taylor.
Very nicely done. This is Zach DeMille. As Kyle Ezekiel, who had been on base twice and singled. He flies out to right, and there's quickly 2 down for Mike Root, who came on in relief of Adam Buckner, who gave up all 12 runs in the 2 2/3 that he has worked, or had worked. And Nick White singled, scored, driven in a run for the Chiefs. You have 9 hits on the road to their 12 runs. This won't be easy. And he beat it out. That is Nick White perfectly illustrated. With his speed, he hits the ball on the ground to that side of the infield. He's got a chance.
1 bounce.
And Ryan Davis did as well as he could.
Yeah.
Still not quite enough. Is a multi-hit game for Nick White again. And I wouldn't expect he'd be on the move here, Joe.
No, I wouldn't think so.
Not at 12-1.
No. I'm sure John Hill's got the little harness on him over there. He wants to go.
He might need one. He gets out of bed wanting to steal a base, Nick White. So Luciano Biondi, who hit a frozen rope for a double his last time at the plate. And he's driven in a run. And again, another opportunity, because it's still relatively early in the year. This is only the 3rd weekend for the Chiefs. Biondi, he doesn't need a lot either.
No.
When he puts it in play to be on base, and he has his 2nd hit of the evening. And now Nick Shales, who, if I remember correctly, Joe, walked his first time at home plate in this game. Came in to pinch hit for Shane Boland, who started at shortstop. Nick made a nice defensive play in the last defensive half inning. See if his hitting prowess continues against Mike Root. And he certainly was not shy on the cut. 2 for 3 against the Batman. 2nd time at home plate in this game.
Well, it really helps when 8 and 9 in your order can Get some base hits and really sets up that top part of the order. All this happening with 2 out.
And 2 gentlemen, even though Biondi is being run for, courtesy runner for the catcher. So if Biondi was still out there, any ball towards a gap would be trouble. Shales is out. So strikes out, which has been rare for him in 2025. But Mike Root delivers a strikeout. 12-1. And that means the Chiefs are 3 outs away if they don't give up any more than 1 from ending this game in the 4th.
Welcome to Mont Hill Golf and Country Club. With our beautiful 27-hole golf course open to the public, we work tirelessly to ensure your time with us is second to none. Well, here you'll be able to enjoy an incredible dining experience at our very own Big Pete's Steakhouse. Play some of the best courses in the world with our state-of-the-art golf simulators. Upgrade your gear with the top brands at our pro shop, or host a stunning wedding, event, or conference inside one of our beautiful ballrooms. Learn all this and more at monthill.ca. We can't wait to see you soon.
12-1, the Hill United Chiefs in Game 1, or Game 2 of the Chiefs Challenge. For both of these teams, it's a 5-team tournament. Everybody plays 4 round-robin games before we get to the playoffs. A lot of great sponsors making this Chiefs Challenge possible, including Givens Grain, established in 2022, rye seed, organic corn, organic soybeans, custom farm work, custom trucking, located in the Wyndham Center. Thanks for your sponsorship. I believe, Joe, that we have a pinch hitter.
If my screen will cooperate. Mike Willis.
Mike Willis, number 87, as he steps into bat against Martin Gonzalez, trying to close things out. Line on Martin so far tonight: 3 innings, given up 1 run, 4 hits, struck out 6, and is yet to walk a batter in the game. And a good rise ball from Gonzalez.
Yeah, he's grooming that rise ball right now, really working on it.
And another one that had plenty of late movement, which, Joe, that's so important, right?
Yeah.
Is how the ball moves, the closer it gets to home plate.
Well, he was up in the count, so he can play with that pitch. It's a good pitch to practice at this situation.
Change up from him this time. And the count runs full. And there's the rise in a great location. And strikeout number 7 to begin the bottom of the 4th. And here's Travis Nevin. Travis struck out earlier against Gonzalez. Won't this time on the ground. Kyle Ezekiel with a toss over for out number 2.
Nevin must have flew up because he's a Maritime boy.
He is indeed. He's from Halifax. And here comes Jared Garlow, who hails from Ohsweken. Made a really nice scoop defensively. Came into the game an inning or so ago to replace River Taylor. Now he needs to find a way on base to keep his team in the game. with the 10-run rule in effect after 4. Change this year.
It was 12, reduced down to 10.
Used to be 15, 12, and 7. Now it is 12, 10, and 7. Which I believe that is now the same as what they do internationally. Would have to double check that. So Hill United, the Chiefs on night number 1 of the Chief Challenge, 1 strike away from improving their early tournament record to 2-0. Garlow able to check a swing. You could hear the Chiefs dugout urging Martin Gonzalez on, and this will be a confidence builder for him moving forward. There's strike 3. Biondi's got to make the throw, and the game comes to a conclusion. A great start for the host Hill United Chiefs on night number 1 in the game they were really looking forward to after losing to the Toronto Batmen last Sunday in Mitchell. They needed 4 innings to shut them out, Joe, 10-0, and then after giving up the first, it became the Quentin Bruce show. As Bruce homered twice, including a grand slam in the 9-run 3rd inning. And
he had an inning there.
Yeah, that's what I like to call some kind of inning for Bruce and the Chiefs. Well, Joe, always enjoy it. A lot of fun, a lot of laughs, and some big hits. None bigger than the ones delivered by Grand Valley, Ontario's Quentin Bruce. So we'll be back at it tomorrow at 10. I would say the feature game, Joe, tomorrow goes at 4. It'll be the Drillers and the Hill United Chiefs. Looking forward to tomorrow. Looking forward to that one. For Joe Todd, Luciano, Carl, Dureste, Luciano Lafrano, I'm Peter Lubardius. Good night from Simcoe.
For the latest in softball innovation, the website where you can experience the best tournaments in the Americas.
Live games, news, tournaments, and much, much more.
The best quality live softball, on demand so you can watch when you want. Become a Premier member now. SoftballPremierTV.com.
Live it on Softball Premier.